Hey everybody, first of all, happy 4th of July. Happy 4th of July. I can't say that uh, with any more clarity and sincerity than I just mustered. Happy 4th of July. I'm making this video blog in part to say that, but really to say something that I really, sorry, I'm just making an adjustment here. I really wanted to say for some time now, but I think it's more appropriate to say it now, given recent occurrences. For example, the actions of the Supreme Court, the continued actions of police officers in major American cities against young, unarmed black men in particular, and this overarching feeling that America isn't ours and that someone shouldn't say Happy 4th of July if they're black. That's ridiculous. My message to you is this. This is your country. You were born here. Don't be so psychologically weak as to think that someone else doesn't want you here because you're giving that person or institution power that, in point of fact, by the Constitution, they do not possess. Okay? They do not possess. If they are harassing you, that's against the law, including law enforcement. If they're berating you, that too is against the law under a number of circumstances, regardless of free speech laws. Berating where those jurisdictions have anti-hate crime laws is illegal. They can't do it, okay? Happy 4th of July. The Founding Fathers constructed something that said immediately that they weren't racist. Why? Because the Constitution never said America was for anyone that was white. The Constitution doesn't read that blacks are excluded. And that was done at a time when people who look like me were indeed enslaved. But the Founding Fathers had the courage to imagine an America beyond that. They knew slavery was wrong, even though it was a social construct at the time. But today, we don't have slavery, and yet there are many people who look like me who act as if we still do and seem to want it to be that way, okay? Don't be one of those people. If you think it's hard to make ends meet, it is. The best way around that is relationships and networking. Get to know people. That, even in this computer age, is still the gold standard. It is still the gold standard. Happy 4th. It is still the gold standard to get to know people and to network. And also work. If you're doing something online, making content, maybe your parents don't understand it, explain to them that this is a way of making money. But if you're going to do it, make sure that you're possessive of an account with, say, for example, Google AdSense or any other organization that's going to pay you for either pay per traffic, pay per thousands, or pay per clicks. But make sure you're set up to get paid. Don't make it some imaginary thing where you're caught up with how many views you have, and yet you have no way of gaining money from those views. There are people who do that, okay, regardless of color. So make sure you understand the business if you're going to do that. And make sure you collaborate with people. And make sure that you seek out people who let you be you as much as you let be them. That's a personal decision, okay? But don't get it into your head that this country is not for you. I remember I'll be 1 month from today, I will be 60 years old. Oh, horror. Yeah, 60 years old. I am blessed to have made it this far. I had one of my best friends, Lars Frickman, passed away in 2018. This is that time of life when people you know and who are dear to you start leaving, many times for reasons that are beyond their control. It's hard. And so this is that point in time when you can't help but look back. Not that I ever just started all of a sudden when I reached this point in life. But one thing that I have seen is that when I was in Chicago, and this was happening when I was 6 years old, there was something called the Back to Africa movement. The idea that people who look like me and you were supposed to return to Africa. This is something that was pushed at Avalon Park Elementary, the school that I went to. And it was an idea that was liberally expressed in different parts of South Chicago, which is predominantly black, was then, still is today. Now it's predominantly of color. It always has been. But my point is, I went to my mother and I said, why am I going back to Africa? And I was actually afraid that someone was going to kidnap me and take me to Africa. I had never been to Africa. Still haven't to this day. I'm not saying that proudly, it's just a fact. And my mother said, no, you're just as much here as anybody else. I was not only an American, I'm a Chicagoan. I'm the city of the big shoulders. My point is this culture is yours. The idea of being on time, accomplishing something with urgency, is not a white supremacist idea, as much as it's being pushed now, okay? It is an American idea, something that can be adopted by anyone, regardless of what they look like. We are a nation of commerce. We are a nation of controlled capitalism. Yes, I did say that because it acknowledges the existence of government and laws that you should know and also get involved in writing, okay? Know your laws. Know something else, piece of advice. Know who your alderman or congressperson, or city council person is. Know your elected officials who represent you. Get out and vote. Get out and support them. Get out and get your friends to run, or run yourself. Don't sit on the sidelines and let other people make decisions for you. Have some say in what happens to you and to others. We have two choices, technically three. You can either lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. If you are the person I think you are and you're listening to this, you're going to want to lead. And leading can take on many different forms. But the first way you lead in America is by recognizing one thing, that you're an American citizen. And this land truly is your land. Happy 4th of July, and subscribe to Zennie62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. And thanks, everybody, and thank you, Mr. Compton. Dave Compton is one of our great supporters and investors in Zennie62 Media. I own him a hoodie. So yeah.